right, guys, welcome to episode 18 of It's Personal, an entrepreneur's podcast. We are super excited to have Dean with us on this episode of Old Glory Washing Solutions. Dean, really, because we call this the It's Personal podcast, where we like to start with most of our guests is a little bit of a personal background about you and how you got to where you are now. So obviously most people and a lot of our listeners in Bay County know you as the owner of Old Glory Washing Solutions, but as you and I have had some discussions previously, we know that's not where you started. So I'm just going to let you kind of take it and give us a little Reader's Digest version of, you know, how you ended up where you are now and what your pathway was to starting the business that you run now here in Bay County.
Love it. I appreciate it. First of all, thank you guys both for having me on.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
It means a ton to me. So born and raised in New York, started off suburb of Buffalo, Bills fan, Orchard Park, New York, to be specific. Okay.
Yeah. Bills Mafia.
Come from.
You're crazy.
That's it.
Hey, do you jump on tables?
I haven't jumped on a table yet.
All
Okay.
right.
When the Jags beat the Bills in the playoffs, when I still lived in Jacksonville, they burned trash in our parking lot.
That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Because, you know, Tennessee banned tables when we played the Titans last time from going on an airplane. So it's definitely a problem. But no, grew up there. Amazing parents. I tell people I was either cursed or blessed to be born into the car business. So my dad is a general manager of a Chevy store in Buffalo and fought for me not to follow his path.
Currently, he's still in the business.
He's still in the business right now. 64 years old, living the dream every day.
Yeah.
Something like that. But, you know, he's getting ready to retire coming up soon. But so I went in the car business, started off, you know, basically cleaning cars, you know, knuckle dragging as a kid, following the path. Was about 18 years old. Was about to go into the military and the Air Force originally. My parents, this was like the height of 9/11 stuff going on. My mother was terrified, kind of begged me, please don't go. Well, my little brother went and joined the infantry anyway. And a year and a half later, I followed.
Okay.
So went to the military. I was in the Army, out of the New York Army National Guard for 6 years. Did one tour to Afghanistan with some of the greatest people you could ever imagine from that state and from this country, which is super cool. Got out. Chased my dream of becoming a police officer like a lot of people, very admirable career. Did that and then kind of got the call one day from my dad that they were looking for some help back at the store.
And you were you were a cop?
I was a cop for the city of Tucson.
Okay.
Yes. So very similar to Afghanistan.
Okay. Yeah.
Very rough.
Wise, yeah.
I'll tell you, the nicest people on the planet, but it is a rough place. You know,
How did you end up in Tucson?
So I was stationed in Sierra Vista, Arizona, 45 minutes
that makes
south.
sense.
So it was the place you kind of go to with your girlfriend or friends to hang out on the weekends.
Yeah.
So that's where my wife and I met. She's actually prior service also. She was in the Army for 6 years. Born and raised in the Bible Belt in, you know, Bruce, Mississippi.
Oh,
So that's why how we kind of filtered our way back
this way.
But spent basically from 2015 until 2022 in the car business. Went from a used car manager to a general manager at another store close by, an independent store. Spent a bunch of time with, again, my bosses were next level. Both Chris and Travis were just amazing. Spent a ton of money doing stuff like coaching, right? People don't find the value in that. They spent sometimes $10,000 a day for me to spend with Andy Elliott.
To bring people in, yeah.
Yeah, to train, to really develop me as a human, to then develop a staff and you know, really bleed that into our customer.
Yeah.
So you're not just like everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
So that was cool. Fast forward, my mother-in-law got sick down in Mississippi.
Got it.
Kind of went through a cancer bout with leukemia. We decided to get closer, basically move down here, get closer to her. Ended up bringing her down with us here in 2022. Through God's grace, she got a transplant last year.
Wow.
And it seems to be going down the path to be cancer-free.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's super cool. So I tell people we live on the beach. Life is short, okay? And this is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the coolest places you can live on earth.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
I agree.
So that's my story. And then we basically from 2022 in November, decided November 10th is our anniversary. I decided to form Old Glory, obviously after Old Glory, because I figure what's better than bleeding America through and through.
Yep.
And let's figure out a problem. Like the problem is if you drive around Bay County or anywhere around here, everything's dirty.
Yeah. And the name, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up, and the name works because restoring it, who doesn't say the catchphrase, restoring your home to its old glory?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I tell
Makes
people, you know, obviously I'm a vet. My general manager that works for me, Scott, he's retired Air Force. We're currently bringing on another guy in the Army. I mean, I've got great staff, a great team. And I tell people we are surrounded by some of the best people in this area. You know, some are from here, some are not from here. You know, kind of You get a little bit of a clash once in a while, but I think it keeps this place, level-headed. It keeps this place moving forward, and we're trying to be a big piece of that.
Did you have any Bay County connection prior to 2022?
No, you're gonna laugh, and I gotta give him a little shout, a little love. So the first person I ever met here was Bubba McCants.
Okay.
And Bubba took me to church on a Wednesday at Emerald Coast Fellowship.
Yeah.
Said, you got to come for church. We get free dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, I can't pass on free dinner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, would the soldier and me pass on the free meal?
Yeah, I know.
I get there and I meet amazing people like yourselves through connections, through church, through the neighborhoods. I mean, I was really embraced in this place, And
I've done some transactions with Bubba before.
Yeah, and it's been, and he loves you guys too. Trust me. I tell people in our world, pressure washing, real estate, whatever. First of all, we give all our glory to God. Number one,
absolutely.
always. Okay, but He puts us with the people we need to be with every single day. Absolutely. If you're like, well, that's a competitor, that's this. I said, listen. First of all, one of us can't handle it all. Okay.
Yeah.
We need each other, and that's what this is about. That's why I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, I agree, and I start each day kind of saying, put me in front of the people I'm supposed to, and let me not worry about those that I'm not supposed to be in front of.
Same.
And maximize what's in front of you. It's a good way to go about living life, I think.
No doubt.
So, okay, so pressure washing 2022, you kind of came down here for familial reasons. What made you start Old Glory, like that business, pressure washing?
Because I have a cousin. Well, he's a pseudo cousin. He's not technically my blood, but close enough. He's like my best friend. Starts one of these businesses, a teacher full time in New York.
Okay.
Kind of starts throwing this math my direction on how you can make some money. Okay, really where the growth is in this. And the coolest part about my job is you need me again in 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of cool. It's not a heart surgery. I need it once in my life. Hopefully never have to see you again. Hopefully when you call me or you call my company, you're happy because you know that the results you're going to get is going to just blow you away. Okay? And I've been blessed by meeting realtors like yourself, by meeting property builders like Brian Knox, these guys from Coastal. I mean, these guys call me and say, listen, my client comes first. Do whatever it takes to make them happy. I mean, do you know how powerful of a message that is?
Yeah.
Like talk about working with God's children every day. I mean, I wake up every day, just like look up, I follow Steve Harvey as well, a big podcast guy, right? And his thing is if you wake up every day and just say thank you because someone else didn't get that luxury that you have to wake up and say it.
Yeah.
And I said that when I met you, I said it was kind of crazy. I followed you guys before and we get put with these people we're supposed to be with to change this place. I think the place that where Bay County's going is almost scary how cool it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. So you kind of landed on pressure washing, and then how did you start? Like,
honestly, bought a trailer off of Facebook.
Okay.
Did the cool, fun entrepreneurial thing. Spent all your money on one thing.
Dump it all in.
And hope it's successful. Yeah. But I've always known if you can bleed your passion in your profession, you'll be infinitely successful, right?
Yeah.
It's just how it works. If you could become just truly the Tom Brady of your industry, and that's what we're trying to do, then you'll be successful. And we started with basically a half of a trailer, we'll call it, in one truck. Then I lived out of a camper on the beach here when I first moved here. So kind of weird.
Yeah.
To a beautiful home in North Shore with my beautiful wife and 2 kids and my mother-in-law, 2 blocks away. And now we're 4 trucks, fleets, teams, a general manager, marketing
how much
guy.
staff do you have now?
So at any moment it rotates. So I've got 3 full-time guys. I've got a sales guy full-time. I have an executive assistant. Thank you, Vicky, for being alive I'm without you, I would die. I feel like she handles so much for me. It's crazy, right?
That's true.
So I'm blessed to have a mid full of actual firefighters that work off duty with us.
Okay.
Because they've got a flexible schedule.
Smart. Yeah.
So I kind of pitched them all. I said, listen, you get to use a hose on stuff more than you do in your other job. So come on over. Right.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And they love it. We've got
Extra money too.
They are just awesome. Awesome. We've been blessed. And our growth path is, like everybody else, you start small. We basically started, picking out neighborhoods or picking real estate guys or whatever and trying to get some closing business or some listing business. And that's turned into, we just signed a contract and it's emotional to us. We just signed a contract that we're going to cover 3 states for a company.
Wow. That's awesome.
We're going to cover from basically the Mississippi border all the way through Gulf County for a company.
For all their locations. That's cool.
So it's a big deal.
So was it just like you and the trailer and some minimal equipment in the beginning? Was that really?
It was one pressure
Were you doing the
washer.
sales and the service?
I did everything you can do in a company, from fixing the machine to cleaning the house to knocking on doors to, hey, can I clean your house for free, Mr. Real Estate Agent, that you got listed?
Get some videos or something. Yeah.
Just get some videos and some content up. And we achieved our goal. We did 100 5-star Google
I think
reviews.
that's such like an understated strategy in business these days, especially, and I know a lot of people are not going to like me saying this, but especially in real estate. Like, I know a lot of people who are very successful in real estate who have a story about like listing a house for next to nothing or asking, can I just list your house? They never tell people that or promote that. A lot of businesses don't promote that they did that at one point. It doesn't mean you're going to do it forever. But literally, if you've never done something and you need to show that you've done something, sometimes doing something for nothing is the best strategy to do it. I mean, people really undercount that strategy in sales or service or really anything like that to getting like a foot in the door and shoot content, have a testimonial, a review, whatever it may be.
You got, one thing that I'm not used to where I'm from, and it's very tight here. You start to get into Panama City's, niches, like the neighborhoods are very nichey here. Right? You got the Cove, you got Kings Point. Well, what ended up happening, and
it's true.
Through God's grace, we ended up like finding a random person in each of these things. So Jennifer Halligus, she actually we got to her to do the Cove sign for free. It was one of our first projects. Well, not thinking about it, we're basically parking 2 trucks at the busiest intersection in and out of the Cove.
Makes sense.
People are calling us left and right. And we've got such amazing people that we do business with down there and all over Bay County, but like they've latched onto us. We do a ton of business down there.
It's like something we talked about in one of our former episodes, which is just like, you have to be careful with this statement to taking it to the full extent, but say yes to every opportunity. Because even like an opportunity that might seem like it's not so fruitful can turn into things like that. Right? Yeah. You got to have the right mindset to be able to say yes to some things to get in front of the next thing.
You're talking about literally just the Cove sign on the street?
Literally the Cove sign. It used to be, so the front of it used to be all bushes.
Okay,
It was kind of a weird design, but it's okay. So we actually came in, and at the time, I was me. I soft washed the sign, scrubbed the brick, the granite by hand. Some little old lady stopped. She's like, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to see you.
They put this beautiful sign in it. It never gets touched. I said, the problem is in budgets, that's this big. Don't worry about fixing infrastructure and making sure they're homeless in houses and stuff like that, especially after Michael. I mean, you guys took a beating, and it's like, I understand why it's the way it is, but if we don't step up and help in our own community, then what are we really doing?
Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunity for maintenance / beautification in Panama City. It's just a true statement.
We just signed it. I don't know if you want to call it signed up, but we were just approached by a local painter. This guy's at Structure Painting, Buddy Boykin, called and said, listen, if you want to do something in your town, I've got the job for you. Lynn Haven, he's starting to do this fitness kick, right? So he said, I run by these benches at Lynn Haven at the park by the bridge every day, and they're disgusting. So I'll make you a deal. I'll get the paint company, Sherwin-Williams and Lynn Haven, to donate the paint. I'll do the painting for free if you pressure wash the tables for it to prep it.
That's actually a really cool idea.
So
we're getting ready.
So we're doing it. So we're going to prep it. He's going to paint it, and Lynn Haven jumped all over it.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea and a good promotion opportunity.
Get you a plaque. One of those.
When I die one day, they'll give me a key to the city, old boy.
The bench man.
That's right. Exactly.
That's awesome, though.
So what would you say, like, if you had to give so obviously, I'll put it this way, there's probably a lot of competition in soft washing, pressure washing, and some of the services that you provide. What is the differentiating factor that you think has allowed you to have that growth?
So you have no idea how excited I am to answer your question. This is bumps. So a few days ago, somebody referred to us as, pressure washers are a dime a dozen.
Right.
Okay. And I will tell you, doesn't matter what industry you're in, there's a lot of dime a dozen type industries. I mean, to be fair, real estate, right? Call is what it is.
It's a penny a dozen.
We are so far from the dime a dozen pressure washing company. Okay. I tell people, we don't hire we don't hire like a guy for an afternoon to come in and just fill in to do some random
get the job done.
No. Okay. My guys train continuously, whether it's in the field under the mentorship of myself, mentorship of my general manager. We also do a lot of online training. Okay. Because I want my people to be true pros. Okay. I tell people, and I use it as a joke, and I hope to be there at one point in my life. I said, listen, I want to be the GOAT of pressure washing. Okay. I feel like, well, anybody can pressure wash. You're right. It's simple. Just pick up the pressure washer and blow a house over. The technology that we use in our game, specifically in Old Glory, I spend all the money back, right? You know how it goes. Especially in real estate, you're constantly spending money to get listings or move your business forward. We're doing the same thing.
You make a lot, and then you've already got 5 things that you need to reinvest into.
You got to reinvest. If you're like, why would you do that?
Better service.
You're not taking enough back for yourself. I said, first of all, my customer hasn't gotten the treatment yet, the maximum treatment that they deserve for me to take my part.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. It will come. I know it will. But, the technology that we use, the training, for instance, we just train with a company, right? So we're a little guy in the world, which we're not so much anymore. We wanted to start paver sealing, but March of last year.
Yep.
We reach out to all these companies. Everybody tells you, when you get bigger, reach out to us. Bigger. I said, bro, I hate to tell you, I follow all the Facebooks and all these organizations online. Trust me, you'll know who I am. Give me 90 days.
Yeah.
All right. So I find these guys, Surface Logics. They're down out of, I believe they're like the Pompano, Boca area, Southeast Florida. All right. You should look these guys up. Next level. CEO, amazing. Their sales territory guy, James, amazing. I call these people up within like 72 hours. This guy's on a plane in 30A teaching us how to seal pavers from the manufacturer.
Interesting.
Never happens, right?
Yeah. That's
You get watch a webinar or read this
there's
book.
A video on
Yeah.
YouTube.
You know what? You guys know, because you guys are ground pounders. The only way to do it is to physically put hands on.
Yeah.
You know, I was standing there with the training for the first day. I said, listen, I want to become the precision paver guy. So we've got houses in this neighborhood, in this area that are $50 million. This is not some hack task. Like, you need to know what you're doing. James comes out on the phone with us, mentors us. I mean, next level experience. These guys are going to, if they're not already, they've been in business for like 50 years and they've, grown through family. But I mean, these people are going to take over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, just their ownership in us, in helping us, and then like our ownership with you guys in your field and business and what you can do for your client. I mean, those guys those relationships are like chilling to me.
Yeah.
And there's such good people out here right now. And the dime a dozen mentality is the reason why some people think that other people are a dime a dozen is because they've never seen real quality, right? They've never had the real estate agent who's come in and literally held grandma's hand through a transaction and not let her get abused by the guy doing the home inspection.
Yeah.
You guys provide a service.
Yeah.
We provide a service. I tell people, I was put here, my gift is not pressure washing. Your gift is not real estate. Your gift is people.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you can take care of people, guess what? It doesn't matter what task you do.
Yeah, and it's the ability to like anticipate what people need before they can anticipate it.
Yes.
In that given field,
Niche,
right?
yeah.
That's that next level.
How
of
many
service.
people do you meet with to put a house up? And they're like almost weird, terrified to talk to you.
Yeah.
They don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Right. Our job as salespeople, if you will, which some people think that's a negative. I think it's the biggest blessing you can have.
Yeah.
Is we are constantly just communicators. We can deliver the message 5 different ways so that everybody can understand it throughout the process.
In their own way.
In their own
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So would you say, like what I'm synthesizing through that is, would you say that your business is probably successful because you're good at that part of it versus focusing solely on just pressure washing?
Correct.
Because I think that's any service-based business, that's like a crux that you see, or like an inflection point of growth, is you can be really good at the service part of it and knowledgeable and educated, but there has to be that like sales and marketing aspect to it that's genuine and understood by the public to be able to really scale too.
And every person, when I show up at a job, is amazing, the response. And it almost makes me feel a little sad for the previous generation. Everyone says, you showed up. I said, did you think I was not going to? She's like,
time.
and she's like, actually, you were 10 minutes early. I said, they taught me in the Army, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, do people not really show up? She's like, a lot of stuff happened since Michael, and it's really hurt this place. But I bring this sense of optimism, right? This is changing dramatically. The old guard of the business is just here, that game is getting pushed to the side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the grinders and the workers are here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think there's such a lack of teaching in corporate level sales of showing up consistently with habits for like prospecting and follow up, and that being a pathway to results. But I think that the market is getting tough enough or competitive enough again, with enough other factors making things difficult,
Completely agree.
that you're having to do. It's natural selection is taking place, I think. But I think it's a good thing, because I think it's going to elevate the experience that people get in these different industries, and some of the other noise is going to fall by the wayside.
Well, I think consumers are also starting to be a little bit more intentional about decision making in terms of who you're choosing for the service, real estate, soft washing, whatever the service may be. I think people are in a situation economically, financially, where
they want to make the right decision.
If I'm going to do this, I want to know who I'm doing it with.
Yeah.
I don't want to just Google it and take option A on the Google search.
Sure.
Just because option A paid to get to option A, option C or D may be really the better option.
And I would use this as an example too, like something that's showing me that there is a gap that can be served out there is the amount of business that this year we have been able to convert off of like a phone call or getting in front of someone, just being basically not phenomenal, not special, just being a basically good informed human on the phone, and that converting into appointments and actually doing business with people, getting a review. That the sheer number of times that we've done that, and we have some more that are possibly percolating right now, shows me that there's a huge gap in like the average person that's reaching out, or that last agent they were listed with, or whatever it may be. Because even yesterday, right, like on the phones, you're talking to these people and they're like, I've had hundreds of people call me, but then of course it's not to pat yourself on the back, but you're like, I'm not doing anything that special, but this person is setting an appointment with me next week, and they're like, I've had 20 people call me already. There's a gap in how people are delivering information to people that is there to be taken advantage.
That's because everybody that trains sales, they have a book.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever learned how to sell from a book, but here's how it doesn't work. Okay. If you're reading taglines out of a book, I understand if you're trying to grow and you're learning, rebuttals to certain objections or whatever. Like, I understand that. Like, you should,
or even theories to follow.
Even theories to follow. But I got a call the other day for someone who wants to take my advertising, not in Bay County. Okay, so that's a problem for me. We try to keep everything local if we can, because these are the people in our churches and our schools, right?
Right. Yeah.
I try my best to do that. But when I get a phone call and it's like sounding like a robot, it's like, hello, hi, I'm calling because your website needs better SEO. That is search engine optimization. Click.
Yeah.
Dude, just call me on the phone. Listen, I went on your website. It's garbage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say what you
Be
just.
real. I don't like what's
Have an
going
honest
on.
conversation.
Yes. Tell me how to fix the problem. I will spend infinite amounts of money.
Sometimes, like, being able to punch people in the face with the truth, but have them know it's coming from a genuine place of wanting to do what your service is for them, to help them, is a much better approach than trying to appease people.
Yep.
It comes across way more genuine.
We fight that with the price game all the time. We get a call. What's the cheapest you can do this service? I said, honestly, and don't take this the wrong way, if the cheapest I can provide a service is what you're looking for, I'm just not your guy. I'm
not willing to do it that way.
I'll give you 50 guys that don't carry workers' comp, don't carry general liability, don't have all the commercial autos and stuff that we have to protect
that are going
to
spray the paint off of the side of your house.
They're going to spray the paint off the side of your house. I mean, I watch it in your neighborhood every day.
Yeah.
It's like, I tell people this, right? If you have a home that's $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $5 million, do you think someone should clean it for $400?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Because to repaint that house costs $35,000. So it just, the numbers don't set in. You get into this.
What level of detail and machinery is someone going to use for $400 on a house that costs that much, that's that big, that has that much detail?
Correct. I mean, we just brought a mechanic on that's a South Walton firefighter. Once a week right now, he's rotating machines out. People are like, that's like overkill. I said, you know what it doesn't stop me from doing? All day long, my guys can go to work. I don't have to call your aunt who's expecting for your niece's wedding at the house on Saturday. Hey, we're not going to make it because our machines went down. We spend the money to put it back because I want you to have an experience with me and my team that is just over the top.
Yeah.
And you don't think that we're a pressure wash company. The reason why I didn't name myself, so-and-so, pressure wash, I said, I named my company Old Glory Washing Solutions for a purpose, right? Because I am a solution to a problem that you have.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. Right? I mean, you can go to urgent care, you can go to a thoracic surgeon. I hate to tell you, they perform very different tasks.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's true.
Yeah, and it's like, I tell people all the time, I heard a real estate story recently. You can go online now, never even talk to a human.
Yeah.
And they'll handle your paperwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I should buy $1 million house like that. That sounds like a great idea.
I mean, the truth is, like, real estate is so consolidated. There's a million different ways to do things. Like, you can go online and pay for $199 to list your property on the MLS yourself.
Yeah.
You can go have someone facilitate paperwork online for a flat fee. There's a million different ways to do it, but what we talk about all the time is there's every real estate transaction we do, there's always a unique situation that comes up.
Always.
Too many to count. And the ability to know how to handle that unique situation, or when to stonewall, when not to stonewall, when to give, when not to give. Those are the differences between timelines of something selling, missing out on an opportunity, and giving up too much. And I just think if you're only transacting one house every 10 years or 5 years, and it's not something you think about 100% of the time, and not something you're studying 100% of the time, the small percentage that you will pay a professional to help you navigate will actually make you end up in the green, not the red. But people think in terms of cost, and they can calculate that. They can't calculate that other portion, and so all they see is, I'm saving this. But they don't really understand how much they give up and how many things can go awry in a transaction, including timeline. Like if you have to move or you have something specific, a health issue or just any motivating factor that would be making you sell that has a timeline on it, and you're trying to do it yourself, that can be a very, very difficult thing to navigate, and you may end up making a rash decision. And then paying a commission seems like a measly cost.
Yep.
And I think that's what's hard to overcome sometimes with people.
Or you just leave the difference in the commission on the table because you don't know what your property is worth.
Correct.
I mean,
100%.
there's a variety of different
You mean
ways
Zillow doesn't tell you all there is to know about real estate?
To the dollar.
To the
There's an epidemic of people referencing estimates in real estate, and it drives me crazy.
And I love how people forgot that they did get sued for changing those estimates. Multiple times for changing it in their favor while they were buying property.
And if you're on it enough and watch it, just because I watch certain properties, as they're on the market, off the market.
Change
I watch this estimate on a weekly basis because it's based off of their algorithm, which means that if
how long it's been there without X amount of people clicking on it.
That has neighbor's house is for sale. If your neighbor's house is for sale and it's $100,000 over listed, it's going to affect your estimate on your house because it's part of the algorithm.
It's pulling the data.
And if they go do a $50,000 price reduction to get themselves within the market, then all of a sudden yours goes down to 50, and so it's all.
And not only did they get in trouble for that, but they used Zestimate to start a home buying arm.
Yeah,
that was the algorithm they used, and people looking at satellite images, which is not a good strategy. And they bought a bunch of homes, and that whole division went bankrupt. It was not a good strategy. They overbought and couldn't move these properties, and so that's what. If you're going to use that to evaluate your property, it's crazy.
It's like Vicuña. It was estimated
all the
when
time.
We listed. Vicuña's estimate when we listed was $289.
Yeah.
After we sold it in less than 40 days, pat on the back. This estimate now, if you go look at it now, this estimate is $319.
Yeah, because that's what it's sold.
And it's been 60 days.
So just like real estate, the car business, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in the car business.
It's got to be a hard one to discuss price with people.
Everybody wants to Vroom, Zoom, Carvana, all these companies, right? KBB. Now here's what's funny. Of course, car guys latch on to car guys like real estate guys latch on to real estate guys. Right? All your friends are in the same business.
Yeah.
So we do some business with the Kramers.
Yeah.
Okay. We're blessed to clean their facility.
Yeah.
You want to talk about classy. Okay. Truly classy. You can walk into the dealership. The owner will be there. Mm-hmm. He's always there.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's Senior, Will.
There's a Kramer outside.
Will is out. So someone's out in the parking lot, dress up in a suit, doing cartwheels over a car. Yeah. So they're the greatest. I love those people. They're wonderful. And we clean for them personally also. And I'll tell you, when you think you can buy a car on a Vroom.com or whatever other website they created this month, and you have a problem, guess what? Go call the call center in Indonesia because you're not getting it. If you've got a problem with your car or a process, know that you can go to a Chris Kramer, for instance, okay? And he will sit there, figure out your problem, solve it like a human being. Yeah. They're generational families of great people.
And I think too, Carvana and some of those sites are so funny because their whole tagline is no haggling. But then when you start trying to apple their vehicles with other stuff, you're there's no haggling because you're just screwing me. I can't haggle how much you're screwing.
And they sell you a car out of state on purpose.
Yeah.
So that the rules don't apply in the state that you're in all the time. Yeah. So lemon laws and all these weird things. People forget that.
They don't even pay attention to those things.
Each dealership has a person.
I didn't even think about that.
Each dealership has quote unquote a general manager or an operations guy. Mm-hmm. So if there's a problem, at the end of the day, you get through service, the sales guy, the sales manager, whoever. There is a guy or girl that's job is to take your problem, and they make a lot of money because they have a lot of problems they deal with.
I'm sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you go to a Kramer, for instance, and I'm not picking on. I think they're amazing. Okay. Go there if you have a problem. They're going to take care of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go to Carvana. Guess what you're getting? Nothing. You bought a car, and I'm sorry, man, but you couldn't afford the warranty, so too bad.
Yeah.
My former employees at Certified Auto Brokers in Grand Island, New York, amazing. I still buy cars from them to this day. 2 weeks ago, we just bought a 3/4 ton from them. We do a ton of service business with the Kramers. We do everything we can and try to keep it here because you got good people. it hurts me to see people leaving to do business with people out of town.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of contractors, we see in 30A all the time. Well, I hired these people out of Birmingham or Atlanta. I go, you couldn't find a guy to put your windows in Bay County?
Yeah.
Or Walton County or Okaloosa County or Escambia County?
Somewhere in
Well, they're better up in, Cobb County. Are they?
They're cheaper.
Oh, yeah, they're cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like, just keep it here. Like, there's good people. You're surrounded by them.
Yeah.
Okay? Every corner, no matter what you need, you guys are a great way to get to us. You can get to me, obviously, through my website. My cell phone number is plastered on every vehicle we have. It's not a work number. It's my cell.
Yeah.
We put people
That's cool.
with good people. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Okay? We are creating an alliance here. You guys have your podcast. I preach this alliance to my guys and my friends here. If you need somebody, I learned this in New York, and you'll probably understand it. You always got a guy if you're from New York.
Yeah.
Everybody in New York's got a guy.
Everyone loves to have a guy.
I'm the guy.
Yeah.
So if you need somebody that does a podcast,
Yeah.
bingo.
Yeah.
Okay. You need someone that lays your pavers, seals your pavers, clean your house. You need a thoracic surgeon. I mean, we meet clients every day. I mean, I got a radiologist on text. You need a radiologist? Go, no problem. We'll get you one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because we put ourselves with good people.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And that's what you do. And that's what this is about.
So what, for a little shameless plug here for your business, what all services do you provide now?
So I tell people we do everything outside the house, okay, as far as cleaning is concerned. So we started soft wash, pressure wash, which obviously are very different tasks, as you know, both of you guys, okay? That's our big baby. But we've transitioned a little bit into stuff that our customers ask us for, to be honest. We just perfect that task and have kind of added that extra arrow to our quiver, if you will. Mm-hmm. We do everything from soft wash, pressure wash, to trash bin cleaning, gutter cleanouts, roof washing, paver sealing. I mean, which most companies kind of encompass those in the pressure wash world. But I tell people that we look at each individual task as a different branch of my business. Yeah. So myself and my general manager, we focus on tasks like to the point of almost craziness and really just absorb ourselves in it to perfect it. I mean, we've got guys like, I think you guys know Brian Knox very well.
Yep.
Good builder friend of ours. He'll just give us a piece of, pavers or give us gutters or something. You look at my backyard and we'll be out there testing a new product on gutters.
Interesting. Yeah.
Competition doesn't do that.
Yeah.
They test it on your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just heard a story in Margaritaville. Guy ruined $7,000 in gutters.
I saw that. Yeah.
$7,000 on a job he charged him $300 for. Guess what? He doesn't have insurance. So
he just used a bad product.
He didn't know what he was doing. He used a bleach product on a galvanized piece of steel. It instantly changed the color.
Corroded it.
It's crazy. This is an art. Okay, there's a science to this. I mean,
there's a lot of different materials.
Most pressure wash companies carry around an MDS book, okay, with all the chemicals in it.
Logs,
and then most companies that produce, like the guys over at Service Logics, they don't outsource. They have a chemist. Now think about that. Imagine getting a degree in chemistry, getting hired by a paver sealing company.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do for you guys? We're going to perfect the product we deliver to the customer. It's powerful stuff.
So what is the major benefit of paver sealing?
Protection.
Okay.
And
does it eliminate the washout of the sand?
It eliminates the washout. So the product that we use,
so that it doesn't get over time.
You don't
I have some of that issue even on my.
Yeah. So we do repair, and then we obviously teamed up with a company to do new paver, install stuff if you need big hardscape work that we talked about. But we do paver correction, so we'll level that patio or driveway or whatever you need out. Okay. Clean it, steam clean it. So if we need to pull it, we have hot water application. We can actually pull the oils out of it or whatever you might need, and truly get it set up, the prep work to seal it. We offer everything. We offer non-slip product, water-based products, non-water-based products. I mean, there is no product that works for everything.
Sure.
It's customer specific. We do travertine and shellstone. People are like, I don't know, you can seal that. I go, because you can't with the stuff you buy at Home Depot.
With certain stuff. Yeah.
Yes, you got to be a pro. And I tell people all the time, if you ever want to see this go down, I tell you want to come do a ride along like a police officer, come sit in my truck.
Yeah.
I will show you how this isn't how easy you think this is.
Yeah.
So what is something about this business that you're in now that you didn't know when you got into it that surprised you, or that you wish you knew before?
I'm a team guy. Okay. Probably the Army pounded it in my head a little bit too much. Sense. Okay. There's not a lot of team cohesion amongst companies in this area.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to fight about everything. And the way they fight is price. So they want to drive the cost and quality down. Okay.
Yeah.
I come from a world that whether you're a cop, real estate, doctor, every doctor know each other. All the car guys knew each other. We used to laugh. I'm going to go to the car dealership down the street. I'd pick up the phone. Hey, guess what? By the way, this guy's coming over in a blue Camaro, just so you know.
He's on the way. Yeah.
He's on the way. Drive you nuts. We gave him $20,000 for the car.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. He'll walk in and lie to their face. They gave me $35,000. Like, guess what? Be real with me.
Yeah.
Be real with the people. Let us all work together. Like I said before, we can't handle everything.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't really have the urge to handle every single person's house in the whole county.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's not realistic. Okay. And I want everybody to eat. I truly do. I want my staff. I want the good companies, but bring the good ones together.
Yeah.
I always say it all the time. If there could be just one brokerage full of every good real estate agent, it'd be a wrap. And the reality is, you know how it is. There's 20-something hundred of you guys and girls. Okay. And how many of you are full-time crushers? Not many.
Yeah. Maybe the top 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's the same way in my field. There's 1,000 pressure wash companies. We're a dime a dozen, right? But we're not. There's 2 or 3 of us that are going to take care of you. And if there's a problem, which it's possible, we're going to show up the next day to correct the problem.
Yeah.
That's really shows your character, right? Nobody's perfect. The surfaces are 50 years old here, some of them.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to be here to show up after the fact. And that's what we do. We'll never leave a customer high and dry.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that. So this is the kind of our final wrap-up question.
Okay.
If you could give one piece of advice, whether it be personal, professional, a combination of the two, just one piece of advice from your life kind of up to this point to now that you would like to leave with people, what would that one piece of advice be?
Grind. Just grind. If you want to know why you're not successful, it's because you're not working. If you wonder why, I tell every single person, I was taught by Andy Elliott, learn time blocks. Okay? Block out your time and actually look at it. If you spent 1 hour a day as a salesperson on the phone for one continuous hour, it would blow your mind the result. You got guys out there doing it for 8 hours a day. And they want to know why they drive Lamborghinis and live in $5 million houses. And I tell people all the time, we don't offer anything. Like, I don't have some service. Like, I didn't create water.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I don't have some proprietary object that nobody else can go get. But you know what I have is this hardest working staff that you can ever ask for.
Yeah.
Grind every single day. And if you grind, you'll be infinitely successful. And if you don't know how to grind, you can call my cell phone number and I'll teach you.
Yeah. And I think I remember when we first met, you telling me, like, when you first got into the business, you just made a massive hit list and just woke up every day full time trying to get business from that hit list.
Yes, if you walked in my house as law enforcement, you could be concerned. Who are all these names on my wall under my quote-unquote hit list? Okay. I had a hit list on my wall. People, what's with the hit list? I wanted to know who the people were that had influence.
To get to.
To get to. Okay, and it's not like an arrogance or anything else. It's not that I only want to work for the guy who has 50 billboards. But the reality is I want you in my corner. I want to be your guy. That means more to me than money.
Yeah.
Undervalued tasks, networking with people, even if you can't explain the exact reason why you're going to meet with them and networking, and 2, spending block time on the phones, talking to people, even if you can't explain what you think the end result is going to be. Every week, every day.
Don't stop.
Those are 2 undervalued tasks that if you just keep doing them and doing them and doing them, it's kind of like the quote that the Spurs had hanging up in their locker room. You know, like I saw a guy chiseling away at a rock, and the first 100 times it didn't do anything. But the 101st time it broke, and I knew it was the 100 hits before, not the 101st that made it break.
Yep.
And that's what sales is, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the ones who are willing to perform the consistency over time.
Yeah.
You are never going to pick up the phone first call and deliver the deal of deals, become Mark Zuckerberg overnight.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, he didn't become himself overnight.
No, he didn't.
Tom Brady didn't throw one ball in his life and become the guy who was the greatest of all time.
No. Well, Dean, I appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come be with us on it. This was a super fun episode. That's going to be episode 18 for It's Personal and Entrepreneurs podcast. We hope you tune in for episode 19. Dean, thanks again.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys very much. Thanks.
You.